Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon, I'm Ali Falla here with your 3 p.m. news. According to BC's Premier, David Eby, over $200 million are being committed into new training spaces for skilled trades. Our reporter, Zach Byard, explains what this means for BCIT.
Premier David Eby announced today that his government is investing $241 million into additional training spaces over 3 years. Up to 5,000 new trades training seats will also open for apprentices as a result of the funding. Eby says it's aimed to support young workers.
We will not grow this province on the backs of young people. We can only grow this province in partnership with young people.
Steve Perry, Dean of Academic Strategy and Innovation here at BCIT, says there's no better time to get into trades.
This level of investment is going to reduce barriers for apprentices to get into the system, get through their training period, and also support the employers to indenture and keep apprentices through to Red Seal.
Eby cites long wait lists and U.S. tariff wars as some of the defining reasons for his commitment. Zach Byard, BCIT News.
Police in Vancouver say 3 men have been charged in relation to an alleged drug trafficking operation. This took place out of a building in the city's downtown East Side area. Police also say the charges are the result of the first of 2 investigations at the same building in the 300th block of East Hastings Street. This is where investigators seized weapons, cash, and illicit drugs last July. Prosecutors approved the charges against the 3 men in March with alleged offenses including trafficking a controlled substance and unauthorized possession of a weapon. Police say several people were arrested in relation to another search at the building in March. That investigation is ongoing with charges not yet approved. Water bans are being placed at BCIT, and there are some precautions that are being taken. Reporter Trevor Weinbrenner has more on this.
British Columbia has implemented a water restriction in Metro Vancouver that is going all the way until October 15th. Bans are sprinklers, watering plants, lawn watering, and car washing. Meta Santiago explains what is the most wasteful use for the water ban.
Yeah, I think lawns, watering the lawns, for sure. We found that most water use would be, through that means or through that use.
Make sure to use your water efficiently, safely, and stay cool this summer. Trevor Weinbrenner, BCIT News.
A water main repair in campus was deemed unsuccessful by city crews. This is leaving parts of the city without water for a second straight day. Officials say crews will attempt another, more robust repair. But residents on the east side of the city may be without water services until later this week. The city says it is supplying residents with portable water via special trucks at 3 locations. This water will be available 24/7 hours until Friday. Those in the restricted area who still have access to water have meanwhile been told not to use any. The city is saying failure to comply results in fines as it tries to conserve essential supply. After numerous cancellations and delays regarding the redevelopment of the Burnaby Hospital, residents are tired of waiting. Megan Onakdat has more.
The city of Burnaby says the hospital was built in 1952, intended for a population of 58,000, but today it serves more than 500,000 people across the city. David Chia, a candidate running in this year's election, highlighted the issue with the ongoing inconsistencies.
Premier Eby, as well as Infrastructure Minister Bowen Ma, they're saying that it's gone off the rails, it's way over budget, we can't afford it. Well, give us the numbers, give us transparency, tell us where or how much the overshoot really is for the public to actually understand, okay, why isn't the money that was promised to us no longer effective.
The discussed cost of the project was estimated to be somewhere between $1.7 and $1.8 billion, but the future of this project remains unclear. Megan Unadkat, BCIT News.
With the May long weekend approaching, British Columbians will be looking to explore the province's vast outdoor activities. Reporter Noah Peckham talks about the important precautions around hiking.
In preparation for Victoria Day long weekend, the BC Search and Rescue Association sent out a media release. They cautioned British Columbians to make sure they are prepared for their outdoor activities. Sandra Riches is the executive director for BC Adventure Smart. She spoke about how hikers can ensure they have the right equipment.
Every hiker should have a basic backpack full of essentials, and those essentials will be carried for every activity, every outing, no matter the level of enthusiasts that they are.
While a long weekend is a great opportunity to enjoy the outdoors, make sure you are properly equipped. Noah Peckham, BCIT News.
In Alberta, a judge has quashed a separation petition saying the provincial government had a duty to consult with First Nations.
Justice Shana Leonard says the petition, which Premier Danielle Smith said would be put on the ballot this fall if it had enough signatures, should never have been issued. Lawyers for several Alberta First Nations had argued the province's referendum process and its use by separatists are unconstitutional, as there's no requirement for Indigenous consultation. They also said separation would violate treaty rights. Lawyers for the province defended the process and pushed for the separatist petition to play out. Bill Graveland, The Canadian Press.
Police in Nanaimo are looking for a suspect who struck a man from behind in public and produced a knife in a stranger attack. Mounties say the victim was walking alone on 7th Street near the intersection of Douglas Avenue at 3 p.m. Monday when someone hit him from behind with a blunt object. The victim fell to the ground and the suspect pulled out a knife before leaving on foot. Police are asking for the public's help in identifying the attacker, saying the victim suffered memory loss in the attack and couldn't provide a detailed description of the suspect. Manitoba's nursing regulator has made a public apology for its role in discriminating against First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people in the healthcare system. The College of Registered Nurses of Manitoba hosted a ceremony including Indigenous advocacy groups, healthcare organizations, and other regulatory partners. It says it should have acted sooner to acknowledge harm to Indigenous patients as well as Indigenous nurses. Deb Elias, the college's registrar, says registered nurses have significant power and influence in the health system, and they should be providing inclusive and culturally safe care. The college is working on developing a reconciliation action plan to look at including more Indigenous staff. Elias says systematic racism has led to barriers in care, and some patients are choosing not to seek medical help. A woman in Edmonton says she was shredded in every direction by two dogs months before they killed an 11-year-old boy. Tina Kelepores says she often interacted with the two cane corsos but had not seen the dogs in more than a year when they attacked her in February 2024. The dog's owner, Crystal MacDonald, is on trial facing a charge of criminal negligence causing death after the animals killed cage grazed at her home in April 2024. Calaparis says she and some friends were visiting MacDonald and the two dogs named Chaos and Cairo attacked them. The 40-year-old says she was playing with the dogs in the backyard when one knocked her down and then they both struck her. She says she spent 4 days in a hospital with 3 broken ribs, a punctured lung, and stitches all over her body. In weather, Burnaby is going to be mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of rain. Tomorrow, the weather is going to be almost the same. That's all for today. Have a great day.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Good afternoon. I'm Matthew Wong, and here are your 3:13 p.m. sports headlines. The Vancouver Whitecaps are back on the pitch tonight, visiting FC Dallas at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. The match is listed for 12:30 a.m. Eastern kickoff. Vancouver goes into the game as one of the stronger sides in the MLS this year, but every result is playing under a cloud of uncertainty about the club's long-term future in the city. Major League Soccer has publicly said it's evaluating all options for the franchise, including a potential relocation, with a Las Vegas investor group having filed a formal bid to buy and move the team. Following with more Whitecaps news, a recent Whitecaps home game drew more than 27,000 supporters, many marching to BC Place behind a Save the Caps banner and holding up paper signs of the same message inside the stadium. The current ownership group has had the club officially on the market since 2024 and says it has talked to more than 100 potential buyers, and yet hasn't found a local offer that works under the existing stadium economics at BC Place. MLS Commissioner Don Garber has raised concerns about limited revenue from concessions and scheduling at the provincially owned venue, and met with BC Premier David Eby and Vancouver's mayor during the recent FIFA Congress to discuss whether a sustainable solution in Vancouver is possible. Continuing with more soccer news, there's less than a month to go before the FIFA World Cup begins in Canada, the US, and Mexico. The BC government has yet to unveil how much it will cost for Vancouver to stage 7 of the soccer games. Premier David Eby says he's asked his team to provide the numbers before the end of the month.
It is a key piece of information for the public, but the legacies that will be created by this game, whether it's community sports fields or the improvements here to the stadium that will create lines of revenue, or the opportunity to develop and enhance relationships with business partners or tourists from around the world, is significant and hard to understate.
Over to baseball. The Toronto Maple Leafs have fired head coach Craig Berube after 2 seasons. General Manager John Chayaka says the move is part of a wider restructuring with the team.
This is a bigger picture decision, and it's not just about a coach. It's, Matt and I have spent, like I said, the last 10 days or so meeting with everyone from the chefs to talking to some of the players and everything in between, and just feel like there's some things that we need to change and do better and be better, and certainly that starts with Matt and myself at the top.
More baseball news. Baseball fans in the Lower Mainland have live action tonight at the Nat. The High Vancouver Canadians host the Everett Aquasox this evening at Scotiabank Field at Nat Bailey Stadium, with first pitch set for 7:05 p.m. It's part of a home date on Vancouver's 2026 sports calendar and another chance for fans to see Blue Jays prospects in a classic minor league atmosphere right in the heart of the city. Here's more updates on Vancouver-born NBA player Brandon Clark. Alex Stone from ABC News has more.
Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clark was found dead inside of a home here in L.A. on Monday evening. According to LAPD sources, it's believed to have been a drug overdose, and narcotics were found at the scene, according to sources. Clark had been recently arrested in Arkansas for drug trafficking, possession of drugs, and a police chase. He had not played much this season due to injury. The Memphis Grizzlies saying in a statement they are heartbroken by the loss of Clark, that he was an outstanding teammate and had a great impact on the Memphis community. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Going over to basketball. The Eastern Conference semifinal between the Detroit Pistons and Cleveland Cavaliers is tied at 2 games apiece, heading into Game 5 tonight in Detroit, with tip-off at 5 p.m. Pacific Time. The full series schedule has Game 6 slotted for Friday in Cleveland and a possible Game 7 back in Detroit on Sunday, keeping this matchup in the late afternoon and early evening window that works well for BC viewers. Hamilton, Ontario is getting a professional women's hockey league team next season. Jason White from the Canadian Press has more.
The PWHL has announced it's expanding to Hamilton and Las Vegas. That'll bring the total number of teams to 11 after the league announced the addition of Detroit last week. Hamilton's yet-to-be-named team will play out of the recently renovated 18,000-seat TD Coliseum. Now, the PWHL could still reveal another expansion team. Its stated plan was to add 2 to 4 more clubs for next season. Jason White, the Canadian Press.
That's all for now. I'm Matthew Wong, and thanks for listening to BCIT News.